Peace, heathens. Peace, heathens. Never know where I'll be at in the morning. Start my video off. This is where we at. I forgot to ask y'all this question, right? Remember I talked about the government, the beast separating the African American family with the Section 8, this, that, and the third. What about the immigrants, the migrants, the immigrants that crossed the border in Texas, the Mexicans and the Afghanistan people that they let come over here, that they actually flew them over here? I wonder if they letting their, they keeping that family together, or are they separating that family? But from what I heard was, at one point, Joe Biden was supposed to be giving those immigrants $250,000 apiece. You see what I'm saying? That's a family. Each person in that family get $250, $200,000 apiece. But the question I asked was, do they break that family up the same way they break up the African American family? Or do they tell them to stay together? Because I haven't heard anything from that, y'all. I haven't heard anything from that. As far as do they break up the refugees family when they come over here and they give them all that. Hold on, I'll be right back, y'all. Let me run up in the store. But they give them housing, food, shelter. They give them financial resources. They give them money, but they don't break up the families like they did the African American family when they introduced the sisters to Section 8. They told them they had to get rid of their man. So I'm just wondering, do these immigrants that's crossing the border and they accepting them in the United Snakes of America, are they rolling out that same rule to them that they rolled out to the African Americans, that the man can't be in the house? That's just a question I had to ask, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on, I'll be right back. Let me run up in Sam's real quick. All right, we back, y'all. Had to run up in Sam's real quick this morning. I'll come back and get my lunch meat tomorrow. Cause that's still the end of the weekend lunch meat. I need that fresh lunch meat. You get that lunch meat now, that shit only gonna last for about 3 days before it starts smelling spoiled and shit. But yeah, I was asking a question, ladies and gentlemen. Do the government tell these people that they letting in from these other countries that the man can't be in the household? And all these people they've been letting in across the border, a lot of people they've been flying in from Afghanistan. I wonder if they told them people the same thing they told the African American people, that the man can't be in the house. That's the only question I have to ask this morning on this good Sunday. That's the only question I have to ask. You know what I'm saying? That's one. Two, let's get back into the domestic relation and child support. That they never opened up the fucking books on that to overturn that shit, or, you know, have someone that we voted for look into that for the men. Get a men a break sometimes. God damn. Get a men a break sometimes. Have someone open up them books, look into that child support, dismiss some of them cases, throw some of them cases out. I'm not saying all the cases, but yeah. It's about that time, y'all. We vote for these people, especially as a black man. You don't got no rights. They strip down there all your rights. They down there stripped all your rights from you and shit. You real limited at your rights and shit that you have in America as a man, as a black man. But like I said, there's more other organizations and people out here with more rights than black men. And like I always say, the LGBT most definitely got more rights than most of us out here. Especially a man, a black man. But we need someone to get into them domestic relation books, open them up, and start closing them cases out. We done had the jab, we done had motherfuckers robbing, looting, motherfucking inflation's at its all-time high, gas prices at its all-time high. Everybody caught a break. Everybody caught a break. But they still got their foot on a black man's neck. But like I said, I don't want to get too much into that. My whole topic was about, are they letting these refugees come over here, and are they keeping their families together, or are they breaking the families up the same way they did the African American community? That's the question I want to know. You heard? Are they telling them Mexicans and Afghanistan people that the man can't be in the household the same way you told the African American community that she can't have no man in the house? But I guarantee you, all these refugees that came over here, I guarantee you all their families together. I guarantee you that shit, y'all. The black man is owed reparations. That's who's owed reparations. You know what I'm saying? And the next person that run for president, discuss opening up domestic relations, closing some of them cases out, instead of letting prisoners out of jail. Let's not put people in jail with domestic relations, because we all know you can never be in trouble with the law, and you got domestic relation and you can go to jail for that shit. You never been in trouble a day in your life. You know what I'm saying? So someone need to open up them books, y'all. Someone most definitely need to open up them books. And the president that's gonna run for president should lean more on the black African American side. What could you do for us? You know what I mean? This is what we asking. We ain't asking for much, but we most definitely asking for you to take your foot off our neck. Open up the case in the domestic relations. Overturn domestic relations. And we're owed reparations. And I guarantee you the next president that run on that note will be elected. You heard? But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I ain't gonna keep y'all long. Just wanted to raise that issue this morning. Do they treat the refugees' family the same way they treated the African American family by breaking that family up? But with that being said, until the next time, I'll be back with another video. I love you all. Peace.
Trip for President Biden. He says his goal is to talk to migrants, Border Patrol, state and local officials to get a sense of the urgent needs here. I am here in El Paso, where the president will be visiting, standing in front of this border fence where migrants have found all sorts of ways to either get over it or get under it. One of the things the president will contend with. El Paso, in many ways, the center of this ongoing crisis. Under mounting pressure to address the migrant crisis, today President Biden will make his first trip to the border as president.
Folks at the border sending me what they need that they don't have.
His focus, El Paso, which has been the epicenter. The number of border crossings reached record highs here in mid-November. Nationwide, Border Patrol stopped migrants crossing the southern border illegally a record 2.6 million times last year, an increase border officials attribute to migrants fleeing violence and the expectation a COVID-era ban at the border could soon be lifted. But Republicans are blasting the president.
It's about time that Joe Biden went down to the border to see the chaos that he himself created.
The president is expected to tout the major announcement he made last week. He says his administration will immediately begin turning away up to 30,000 migrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua, and Venezuela who crossed the border illegally from Mexico and deny asylum to those who fail to apply for it properly. But the U.S. will aim to accept the same amount from those same four nations who apply through the proper channels.
Do not just show up at the border. Stay where you are and apply legally from there.
Adding to the urgency, NBC News has exclusively obtained video of Customs and Border Protection officers, as well as El Paso City Police, arresting migrants sleeping in the streets outside a church shelter. Critics questioned, were they removed to sanitize the crisis? But in a statement, Customs and Border Protection said, in response to migrants evading apprehension in the El Paso area, the United States Border Patrol has increased the number of agents patrolling the area. Meanwhile, across the country, Republican governors are ramping up their enforcement. This weekend, Florida's Republican Governor Ron DeSantis activating the state's National Guard to address the arrival of hundreds of migrants in recent weeks, blaming the president's, quote, lawless immigration policies.
Kristen, the president has been criticized by Republicans like Governor DeSantis for his handling of the crisis, but Democrats, including the mayor of El Paso, where you are, and humanitarian aid groups along the border also say something has to change here. So what is the new policy to go along with the president's visit today?
Well, Willie, I don't expect that the president's going to roll out a new policy in addition to what he already announced this past week. Instead, I think you'll hear him argue that he is taking aggressive steps to deal with this crisis. And part of that is being here and listening. But look, that criticism by DeSantis and others underscores just how fraught the political backdrop is, particularly with the 2024 presidential election looming large. Now, all of this will be front and center when the president travels to Mexico on Monday to meet with the leaders of Mexico and Canada. Willie.
Kristen Welker.